Hello everyone, my name is Engineer Farmanullah Khan. I am a mechanical and HVAC engineer, and this is my YouTube platform Stay with Engineers. Here you can see all about the mechanical and HVAC engineering. So first of all, I will request you to please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to stay with us and stay with engineers. Okay, in previous lecture we have discussed already about the basic principle of HVAC and refrigeration applications, while today we will study about this is our topic of today. The first number is the introduction to vapor compression refrigeration cycle, and second one, the function of VCR system components, and the third number, determine the circulation of Freon 22 or 22 in VCR cycle. Okay, so let's go to start. This is our basic refrigeration cycle. In this basic refrigeration cycle, these are the four components which are used. This is our compressor, and this is our condenser, and a refrigerant control and evaporator. So to show these all processes and to better understand these processes, we have shown here the pH diagram, and here this is a TS diagram. In pH diagram we will determine the pressure versus enthalpy of the system, and in TS diagram we will determine the temperature versus the entropy of the system. Okay, so first of all we will define this VCR cycle, and in second term we will define the functions of all and each of the component of this VCR cycle, and in last we will put the Freon 22 refrigerant in this system, and we will show these on this pH graph and TS graph. Okay, so let's stay with us till to end of this video. So simply the definition of this system is this is a system from which we can create the cooling effect by the help of compress the refrigerant. Okay, now these are the four basic components in this vapor compression refrigeration cycle. First one is a compressor, second one is a condenser, and third one is a refrigerant control, and the fourth one is the evaporator. Okay, and in this system, to create the cooling effect, the working substance of used as a refrigerant, and the working function of the refrigerant is to carry the heat from a surface to another surface. Okay, so in first step, what is a compressor? Compressor is the device which sucks the low pressure refrigerant from suction line and increase its pressure and then discharge it to discharge line. So the function of the compressor is to increase the pressure of the refrigerant, and when it increases the pressure of the refrigerant, so the temperature of the refrigerant will automatically increase. Okay, now the simple introduction of the condenser is to reject the heat from the high temperature refrigerant to atmosphere or to any cooling medium. For example, here this is a water. So when the high pressure and high temperature refrigerant enters in this condenser, so just because the temperature of the refrigerant is greater than the temperature of this water, so here the heat will naturally flow from this refrigerant to this water, and due to the heat rejection process here, the vapor refrigerant gets converted into from vapor to liquid. So the main function of the condenser was it rejects the heat from this refrigerant to atmosphere or to this is a cooling media water. Now the next term is the refrigerant control device or expansion device. So here when the refrigerant enters in this refrigerant control, so it decreases the pressure of the refrigerant, because we need here the low temperature of the refrigerant, and when the pressure of the refrigerant decreases here, so the temperature will automatically decrease here. Okay, and now this is our evaporator, and here it evaporates the refrigerant. When the low pressure refrigerant enters in this evaporator, so here this refrigerant, because it is in under low pressure, so the temperature will also low. Okay, and here due to the low pressure, the boiling point of this refrigerant decreases, and the refrigerant starts the boiling and gets converted from liquid phase to vapor phase, and during this phase change process it absorbs the latent heat of vaporization, and the heat is absorbed here from this water around this cooling coil. Okay, after to change all the refrigerant into vapor state, the refrigerant is sucked by this compressor to pressurize again. Okay, now for example, this cycle is used in air conditioner, and we have used in this cycle the R22. Okay, so now we will determine the values and the pressure and temperature all around in this vapor compression cycle. Okay, now so we will start this cycle from the suction line of this compressor. The suction pressure of the R22 is about 65 psi, and here the suction pressure will also low, and it will be the 60 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so now what will happen in this compressor? The compressor sucks this low pressure refrigerant and increase its pressure, and after the increasing of its pressure, the new pressure will be 270 psi. Okay, and when the pressure of the refrigerant increases here, the temperature will automatically increases. Okay, so the new temperature will be here the 200 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, and the increase in this temperature is due to the increase in pressure here. Okay, now see, if we determine this process on this speed diagram, so here we can see that from point 1 to point 2, this is our compression process. This is our compression process. Okay, from point 1 to point 2, and during this time, if we determine the pressure of at point 1, this is our P1, and P1 is equal to 65 psi. Okay, here we have already discussed this. And after the compression, after this compression, the new pressure is our 270 psi. So at this point 2, the new pressure will be 200. P2 is equal to 270 psi. Okay, compression process, the total heat added in the refrigerant is from here H1, and here it is H2, and the heat added is the H2 minus H1, and we can say this, that is our consuming work and consuming power to the compressor. Okay, at TS diagram, if we determine this compression process, so it is from point 1 to point 2, and this is a straight line to the entropy. So we can say that this process is the isentropic compression. Okay, and what is meant by the isentropic compression? The process where the entropy of the system remains constant, and here you can see that this is a constant line. Okay, during this compression process, the pressure increased from 65 to 70 psi, and it is on the pH diagram. You can see that this is our the pressure P1, which is 65 psi, and this is our pressure P2, this is 270 psi. And during this time, the increase in pressure we can see here at this temperature entropy diagram, because this is our point number 1 from where the compression is started. So here if we note the temperature is here the 60 degree Fahrenheit, and we can say that this is our T1. Okay, and after the compression at point 2, if we note here, so here the temperature is T2, and it is 200 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, now the second process of the condenser, and it is a condensation process. So we will discuss this in this pH diagram. In this pH diagram, this is our condensation process from point 2 to point 3, and during this time, if you have noted that the pressure of the system is constant, because at point 2 this is a 270 psi pressure, which is a P2, and at point 3 the same pressure is 270 psi. Okay, but here enthalpy of the system is decreasing here from point 2 to point 3, because this is our point 2, here this is our the H2 value, and here this is our H3 value, and the total heat rejected here This is H2 minus H3, H2 minus H3. This is the total heat rejected by this condenser. Okay. The condensation in this TS diagram, if we can see here, in this TS diagram, if you can see that from point 2 to this saturated vapor point, this is the desuperheat process, and in this process the temperature decreased here. While from this saturated liquid point to this point, the point number 3, this is the subcooled temperature which is decreased. But here from this saturated vapor point to this saturated liquid point, the temperature remains constant. At this in these 2 points, the temperature will remain constant, and it is although up to 125 degree Fahrenheit. Okay. While here this is a 200 degree Fahrenheit, and the desuperheat process is from 200 degree Fahrenheit decreased here up to 125 degree Fahrenheit. And after the subcooling of the refrigerant, the new temperature of here this will be 105 degree Fahrenheit. So now we can say here that the temperature of the refrigerant will be 105 degree Fahrenheit, while the pressure of the refrigerant will remain constant up to 270, as we have already discussed here. So here the pressure of the refrigerant will be 270 psi. Okay. Now the third process in the controlling process in a refrigerant control device. Now here, when the refrigerant passes through this refrigerant control, so the pressure of the refrigerant will decrease here. In this refrigerant control, the pressure is decreased up to 65 psi. Okay. So when the pressure decreased here, the temperature will automatically decrease here, and the temperature is decreased here from 105 degree Fahrenheit to 40 degree Fahrenheit, and it is a cool condition for this refrigerant. Okay. Now this controlling process of the refrigerant is on this page diagram is from point 3 to point 4, and here you can see that the pressure decreased here from 270 psi to 65 psi. Okay. Pressure decreased here from P2 to P1, but this is the process of isenthalpic. Isenthalpic means that here the value of the enthalpy remains constant. There is no change in enthalpy here, so we can say that this is our isenthalpic expansion. So here only the pressure decreases and the enthalpy remains constant. While here in this TS diagram, if we determine this expansion process, this refrigerant control process, it is from point 3 to point 4. So here this is a little bit change in the entropy. For example, if this is our S3 and this is our S4, so here the change in the entropy is S4 minus the S3, but this is a very smaller change in the entropy, but the temperature decreased here from 105 degree Fahrenheit to 40 degree Fahrenheit. So here the new temperature will be our 40 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, and this will correspond to the point number 4. This 60 degree Fahrenheit correspond to this point here. This is our curved line which denotes the some superheated condition. Okay. Now in process number 4, this is an evaporation process. When this low pressure and low temperature refrigerant enters in this evaporator, so here it's starting to absorb the heat from this water or from this surface, and the process of this evaporation is on page diagram from point 4 to point 1. Okay, and from point 4 to point 1, if we look here, the pressure remains constant. The pressure remains constant. Here it is 65 psi, and here it is also 65 psi. So the pressure during this time remains constant, while the enthalpy gets increased. The enthalpy from point 1 to from point 4 to point 1 is increases here. You can see that this is our H4 and this is our H1, and the total heat absorbed during this evaporation is the H1 minus H4, and we can say that this is our refrigeration effect. This is the refrigeration effect of this vapor compression refrigeration system. So during this evaporation, the pressure remains constant and the enthalpy increased here. And in TS diagram, this is our evaporation process, which is from point 4 to this point, not to point 1. Okay, from point 4 to this point, this is the phase change region, and here the temperature remains constant up to 40 degree Fahrenheit, while the entropy of the system increased here. And the total change in the entropy is, this is our S4 and this is our S1. So the total change in the entropy is S1 minus the S4. Okay, and during this evaporation process, the refrigerant absorbs some latent heat and some amount of sensible heat. So the sensible heat is here, this from this point to this point number 1, and this change of temperature is, if we look here, so we can see here that there is a 60 degree Fahrenheit. So during this time, the temperature increased from 40 degree Fahrenheit to 60 degree Fahrenheit, and as you can see that here the temperature of the refrigerant is 40 degree Fahrenheit, while here this is our temperature, which is 60 degree Fahrenheit. So this was our evaporation process. Okay, or we can see that we can say that this is our heat addition process. So okay students, this was some important knowledge about the vapor compression refrigeration cycle. In our next classes, we will discuss these processes in further in more detail, and we will solve the very complicated problems and simple problems related to this vapor compression refrigeration cycle. But in last, I will request you again that if you have mechanical and HVAC students, so please subscribe this channel, because it is very important to you. Here we bring the very good lectures which are most important to your daily engineering life. So subscribe this channel and press the bell icon to stay with engineers. Until to next video, I will leave you now, and thank you. Bye bye.